Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, out on another walk. And now, I don't know if you remember, very recently I had the pleasure of interviewing Sonya Dibbin, who is a forest therapy guide. And we made a video in the Queen's Elizabeth Park, which is just south of Petersfield, and it was fascinating. And I asked her if it was possible to experience just a little bit of the sort of thing that some of her clients go through as part of this therapy, and I thought it'd be great to share it with you. So Sonya is still here. Hello, Sonya.
Hiya.
Thanks for agreeing to do this.
No problem.
So this is going to be quite loose, and I don't really know what's going to happen. I'm in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we're not doing the whole 3 hours, but we're just going to take a small snippet.
Yes, exactly. So would you like me to sort of say this is
Yeah,
this
set
is
up,
what happens on a session, and then what I'm thinking is I'll get you to actually do a couple of the invitations
Fantastic.
as we go, so you kind of experience that. So at the beginning of the session I would normally give a brief intro to Shinrin-yoku, the Japanese word for forest therapy, forest bathing, or mindfulness in nature as I call it. And then I would do a guided meditation for about 30 minutes, and I close off the sense of sight for that. So you've got your eyes closed, you can activate your other senses more easily. And it brings the stress levels down a notch, and this chatter in the mind is starting to turn off. We then do a very, very slow walk, extremely slow, and we'd be really looking at...
Should we do a little bit of that?
Let's do
how
it.
slow would you be going?
Oh, right. So, I mean, so what I would say is, so we're going to go from here to there.
Right.
I'd give a rough idea.
So that's about 12 feet, something like that?
No, further. So
further?
Maybe 50 metres.
Right.
100 metres, something like that. But it's going to take about 20-25 minutes.
Right.
And what I would say is, can the group stay behind me to allow me to set the pace?
Right.
But they don't have to follow in my footsteps. So they can fan out to the sides. And what you're doing is you're going with your heart sense, your body radar, to what you want to engage with. So, I'm already looking at, for anyone who knows me, I've got a fascination with moss, right? I love moss. So I'm already looking at this. And so on a session, you'll get participants who are starting to go, gosh, I've never looked at a tree in this way. What are all of these amazing things on here, and how has it got like this, and feel the moss and texture. So you might find one participant will spend 10 minutes at this tree,
right,
and another one will be off over there somewhere and exploring perhaps the floor, whatever it might be. It might be, on a windy day, it's lovely to really engage with the breeze, and the sound, sitharism, brilliant word, the sound of the leaves rustling through the trees. Although
at the moment we've got a helicopter or something, and here unfortunately we do have, maybe it's a motorbike.
I think it's a bike,
we have the A3, which is very busy.
Yes.
Something to contend with, of course.
Yes. You never quite get that piece that you want, but you'll get it in your head.
Yeah.
You won't notice that on a session once you start going deeper in.
Right.
Yeah. So then we would carry on with our slow and mindful walk. Then we might do something like gratitude altars, which I think I mentioned before, where you build a shrine to something you're grateful for. So it's very creative, a bit more fun. And then a couple that I'd like to do with you. So we would, using our body radar, again, our heart sense, I would ask you to wander around the area until you found a tree that you'd like to spend some time with. Okay, so maybe you'd like to do that now. Okay.
Well, there is a tree, and I've been looking at that tree because we filmed around the tree last time, so it's still there, and it's quite interesting. So let me just show you the tree. So this is the tree that is very nice. It's a beech tree, and it's sort of isolated from the others. Many are isolated, but this one is more so, as you can see, and it's got some interesting low branches that are coming out, and if I tilt up you'll see there's quite a long stem, and then you've got the canopy above. So that's that's very much the tree. So
you're drawn to this tree.
Yeah.
You don't particularly know why. You don't need to know why. Like, it's just a feeling. You're like, I'm gonna.
There's another tree there, but I don't feel the same as this tree.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it doesn't matter about like the reasons why and all of that. just go with it. That's what I say. And because
Yeah.
we've notched down this stress and all the internal chatter, this is just completely normal. So what we're going to do is I'm going to guide you first of all through Breath of Life, one of the invitations. So we're going to take a moment to slow down. So we start taking some very deep breaths. Okay, so you'd inhale through the nose and then exhale through the mouth or the nose, whatever you prefer. Trying to make the inhalation say 3 seconds, exhalation say 4 or 5. So the exhalation slightly longer as it helps you relax, because you're activating the parasympathetic nervous system.
Now I can't relax too much because I've got to concentrate on the camera. So this is one of those things. It's a little bit. This bit is a bit artificial because I, clearly have got to have one head on what I'm filming.
Yes. So as best as you can.
Yeah.
We'd begin to slow down doing that breathing, and then I would remind you something that we take for granted most of the time, that this tree is producing oxygen for us to breathe in, and it's keeping us alive. And we are breathing out the carbon dioxide, and that tree is consuming that carbon dioxide.
Yes.
So we spend a moment just thinking about that exchange of chemicals and life, and the fact that we take it for granted normally, but when you actually stop to think, it gives you a different perspective on it.
Yes. And it gives. I mean, I suppose it gives you that one of those very important things of why a tree, not so much why the tree is here, but the reciprocal nature that man has with the tree, because our breathing is the opposite to their breathing.
Yeah, and that's one of the key features of forest therapy, to be honest, is this reciprocity. So one of the main drivers is that as we connect to nature and we humans start to value nature and not destroy it, so it helps us in return, so you have this reciprocal relationship, and that's where we're trying to get to, and hopefully we are before it's too late.
Right.
So having spent a few moments breathing with the tree, then I would like to ask you to engage your childlike sense of fun. So bear in mind you would have been through a couple of hours now of deep relaxation, you're going to be in the zone. And perhaps you could imagine that you could communicate with your tree in some way. So I know it sounds a bit beardy-weirdy, but go with me.
And don't worry, because I've been working with Julia, the lovely Julia, for more than a couple of years now, and Julia loves her trees and hugs her trees. So she actually has brought to me a very closeness of trees that I wouldn't perhaps have appreciated, and has sort of pulled out of me a very primeval need, I suppose. So exactly, because this is going back to our ancestral ways, isn't it? It's not right that we spend so long indoors and disconnected. No, that's right.
On devices, and obviously it's modern life, but we must make sure we're still connecting to nature sometimes. We are nature.
So if I was to communicate with this tree, or you use the word childlike
sense of fun and curiosity.
So I mean, immediately what I want to do is put my hands on the tree and feel the textures.
So what I would say is spend some time choosing the tree you'd like to communicate with. When you found your tree, introduce yourself to your tree.
Okay. Now, does that have to be verbally? I'm not saying...
It doesn't.
Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, Bald Explorer.
Yeah. So
and you're now a tree
so
on my show.
If you wanted to say that, you can. And I always say to people, it does add a bit of potency. But if that felt uncomfortable or whatever, then you might just say it in your head, or you might actually just stand, as you were doing earlier, actually, and kind of standing from a distance and admiring. You might choose to touch it the way you've just done. So in a way that feels comfortable to you.
Certainly for me, just putting the flat of my palm onto the tree, I can't feel anything pulsing physically, but mentally, that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling a connection. Now, whether I get that because it's a very sort of visual thing in films, and I have a very visual brain, but to me, it's almost as if then the sap runs through me, and I am connect. It's like plugging yourself into the mains, you know, so the electricity of the tree is with me. I don't know if that sounds weird or
well, I mean, you know, I love that for me is like music to my ears, you know. And actually sometimes when it's very windy, people will hug their trees, and the tree is moving in the wind,
right,
and they
they'll
talk
go with
of
it.
feeling very connected in that way. And yeah, so different. So what happens on a session is everyone will have their private experience. Yours is very different to the next person's,
yes.
you know, although I'm guiding the same invitations. And then I would ask you to actually spend, I wouldn't tell you necessarily how long, but it would be about 20 to 30 minutes just being with your tree.
Well, listen, I know we could do more,
Yes.
but the time for my videos, I like to keep them short if possible.
Sweet.
And also, you need to go and experience it for yourself. And the details of how to get in touch with Sonya, or you can look up, obviously, if you're in a different part of the country, will be in the description, and they can check you out at your website, which you're going to give us again.
I am, yes. So it's adoreyouroutdoors.co.uk.
Adore your outdoors, there we go. But that's it for these two videos. If you didn't see the other one, do check it out. Very interested in your comments on whether you've done this or how you feel about being in the woods. Thank you so much, Sonya.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's
Thanks
been
for
great.
having me.
And I'm just going to go and end with a little hug of my tree before I say goodbye. So thank you very much, Sonya. And to my lovely tree, thank you so much. Just let me know who your agent is, and obviously we'll make sure all the payments are made to you. Okay. Till next time, thanks so much for watching. Take care. Give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this immersive experience, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.